In a quiet village surrounded by golden fields and whispering winds, there lived a boy named Arham. He was kind at heart but careless with one thing: time. Every morning, he woke up late, rushing through his chores, skipping important tasks, and postponing everything to later. His father often reminded him, "Son, time is like sand in your hands. Once it slips, you can never gather it again." But Arham always nodded casually and went back to his usual ways. One day, Arham was supposed to help his mother in the market, but he overslept again. By the time he reached, the market was closing, and his mother's eyes showed disappointment more than anger. Later, he promised his friend he would join him for an important football match, but Arham got busy playing on his phone and forgot completely. His friend's team lost, and the boy didn't talk to him for days. Slowly, Arham began to realize that his delays were hurting the people around him, but he didn't know how to change. In the center of the village stood an ancient clock tower. The clock was said to be hundreds of years old, built by a wise elder who believed that time was the greatest teacher. At night, when the village grew silent, the clock's echoing ticks filled the air like a heartbeat, steady, constant, alive. One evening, after missing yet another important chore, Arham sat beneath the old clock tower. The sky was purple with the setting sun, and a cold breeze passed through the empty streets. He looked up at the clock, its hands slowly moving, unbothered by his struggles. He whispered softly, "Why does time move so fast? Why can't it wait for me?" To his shock, the ticking grew louder, clearer. Suddenly, the entire tower glowed with a strange, warm light. He rubbed his eyes. Was he dreaming? Before he could react, he heard a voice. Deep, calm, echoing like it came from everywhere and nowhere. Arham. His heart raced. Who's there? I am time. Arham froze. The voice continued, "You called me, so I came. You ask why I do not wait. But tell me, my child, why should I?" Arham trembled. I don't know how to keep up. I don't know how to fix my mistakes." Time laughed softly, a sound like the turning of seasons. "Every day, every hour, every moment, I give you a chance. But you let them pass as if they are endless. Do you know how precious a single moment is?" Arham lowered his head. "I know. I just don't realize it until it's too late." The light around him grew warmer. Time spoke again. "Walk with me." In the blink of an eye, the world around Arham changed. He stood in a field where a little boy ran joyfully, chasing butterflies. Arham recognized him. It was himself at the age of 6. His mother stood nearby, calling him for lunch. Time said, "Look how simple happiness was when you lived in the present." The scene shifted. Now Arham saw a classroom where he sat, staring out of the window, ignoring his teacher's lesson. Time whispered, "This is the day your teacher spoke of opportunities, but you were lost in your own world." Another shift. Arham saw his friend waiting for him on the football ground, looking at the empty seat on the bench, sighing deeply. His heart ached. "I didn't know he was so hurt." Time replied, "We never know what we lose until the moment has passed." The visions faded, and Arham stood again beneath the glowing clock tower. Tears filled his eyes. "Time, can I fix all this?" Time answered gently, "You cannot go back, Arham. No one can. But you can change what comes next. I move forward always, but I take you with me. If you choose to walk wisely, I will become your friend. If you waste me, I become your biggest lesson." Arham wiped his tears. "What should I do?" Value every moment. Wake up with purpose. Do not delay what matters. Love the people around you while they are here. Most of all, understand that a life well lived is nothing but time well used. The glow faded, and everything became still. The clock tower looked old again, silent except for its steady ticking. Arham stood there for a long time, feeling something inside him change. For the first time in his life, he felt the weight, the power, the beauty of every passing second. The next morning, Arham woke up before dawn. The sky was still dark, but the world felt full of possibilities. He helped his mother without being asked. He apologized to his friend and joined him for practice, promising never to leave him waiting again. His friend smiled, surprised but happy. Days turned into weeks, and Arham began to transform. He spent more time learning, helping his parents, caring for his village, and working sincerely on everything he did. People began to notice. Arham has changed, they whispered. He has grown wiser. But only Arham knew the truth. He had listened to time. One evening, he returned to the clock tower, now no longer afraid of its ticking. He looked up and whispered, "Thank you, for speaking to me." The wind blew softly, and for a moment, he felt warmth around him again, like a silent acknowledgement. No words were spoken, but Arham understood. Time didn't need to speak again. It had already given him the greatest message of life. Years later, Arham grew up to become a respected man in the village. He shared his story with children, telling them that time is the most precious gift they will ever have. Use it well, he would say gently. Because once a moment is gone, it becomes just a memory. And somewhere, high above the village, the old clock tower continued ticking, steady, constant, alive, reminding everyone who listened that life moves forward, and those who walk with time find success, peace, and purpose. For Arham, the message became a promise, to never waste a moment again, for he had heard the voice of time, and it had changed him forever.